Hey, welcome back to Proline. I'm Dave Cokin, joined by Jim Feist, coming to you direct from Las Vegas. And we're going to look at the 2016 NFC South, where Carolina's pretty much taken over the division the last 3 years, 17-1 last year before getting upset in the Super Bowl. First, this is a terrific offer. I actually didn't come up with this myself, and it's a no-brainer. This is my entire NFL preseason, 4 weeks of plays for $10, including a bonus week of Major League Baseball. Now, here's the catch. This is a one-day offer only, Friday only. You have to call and get this early bird special now. I'll have plays every day that there are games in preseason. I know how to find the right information, and you can get there with me for the entire month of August football, plus a week of Major League Baseball. The only catch is you got to call on Friday, one day only, $10, 855-472-2577. Jim, your baseball games of the month and year are on a combined 13-4 run. That includes your NL Central total of the year. Last week, that was the Cardinals and Cubs staying under. It's been a great run.
It's been an absolutely fantastic run. That's right, Dave. 22-8 baseball run overall as well. 98-61. Everyone can get on board with a Friday special. 4 days of plays for $44. That's right, $44. That includes one of my high roller releases. That's a $500 value online. As a bonus, a $500 value is yours. 4 days, $44. Call my offices right now, 866-546-9467.
All right, so on paper, there are a lot of good divisional battles this year in the NFL. This is not one of them.
No.
To me, it would be a shocking upset if Carolina isn't back in the playoffs as the winners of the NFC South. You got to figure they're going to be hungry because they should have won the Super Bowl. I'm glad they didn't. I had the Broncos plus the points in that game in money line, but they really were the better football team, and they should have won, and they let it get away. And so they should be hungry coming in. Rivera's, the hot seat stuff with Rivera is long gone. Cam Newton is clearly one of the better quarterbacks in the league. There really aren't any holes in this football team, which stands to reason. I mean, they had one loss last year until the Super Bowl.
That's right. Dave, I agree with you. They were the better football team, but I think maybe they choked a little bit. You had Peyton Manning, who was basically the walking dead. Yep. I mean, the numbers for him last year for the whole year and in the Super Bowl, atrocious. But somehow the defense stood up. And Carolina, I didn't like the game, the way they were coached. Their game plan looked bad. It was an embarrassing effort by this team, and I do think they're going to be angry. But let's look at how do they get into the playoffs this year.
Well,
the first thing you have to do,
16 games.
You just got to show up. You got your division. You're going to win. Who's going to beat them? The Saints? The Saints are 60-1 to get the Super Bowl. Panthers are 13-1. Now, that doesn't always tell the tale. The Falcons, 60-1 also, and the Bucs are 60-1. All of these teams have holes, a lot of holes. Oh. And you have an aging quarterback there in the Saints.
Well, the defense in New Orleans.
Oh, atrocious. So each of these teams have real problems. Maybe they're up and coming 2 years down the road, but this Panther team is kind of like the AFC East, where the Patriots and the others. Well, it's the Panthers and the others.
I think in the AFC East, you can make a better case for the others being improving to some extent. I don't know if that's the case here. So let's look at these three teams. New Orleans, unless they're allowed to play with an extra guy on defense, I don't know how they're going to stop anybody.
They
gave up almost 30 points a game last year.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And the quarterback isn't getting any younger. Atlanta, remember when they started off 4-0 last year, and it was a complete fraud? I mean, they were getting unbelievably lucky in games. Well, they ended up 8-8, and they weren't good. And they've just got a lot of holes in the roster. The team that interests me the most among the also-rans, if you will, the team that I think maybe could get to 500 this year is Tampa. Look, I know Jameis Winston had he made his share of mistakes. But the mistakes lessened as the season went along. And this guy's got all the tools to be a really good NFL quarterback. His ratio last year was 22 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. For a veteran, that would be bad. For a rookie, not so terrible. And now he's got Dirk Cutter as the head coach, who is very quarterback-centric, if you will. They're going to get to throw the ball a lot. They're going to gear the offense around Winston. Lovie Smith was not a good head coach. And so I think there's a potential upgrade there. And the fact is that there's not a lot for them to jump over here. So you're looking at a 6.5 win total. I haven't bet this yet, but I'm leaning toward the over. I think they can get to 7 anyway.
Well, if the Saints and the Falcons are as bad as we think, I'm not going to say bad, but just so really mediocre.
Yeah, I think they kind of
They
are.
could actually pick up a couple wins there. That's 4, and you're looking at 6.5. You have to look at the rest of their schedule, but I think over 6.5 is the right play there. The thing that bothers me about Jameis Winston, in college, he had a propensity for making a lot of mistakes. He's very talented. Nobody's questioning that. But the ratio of touchdowns to interceptions last year bothered me. 22-15 is not that good. He's going to have to show me that he can pick up and improve off of college and improve off of his first year. They have a backup quarterback there when you're talking up, that I think is a starter in the league, but for some reason nobody's given him a shot, Glennon.
Yeah.
And
I'm not
so
a big Glennon guy myself.
I happen to like the guy. I watched him play a couple years ago when they gave him a shot. I thought he did pretty well. So that's a good thing to have if Jameis happens to get cold or gets hurt.
Oh, yeah.
So
You got to have a backup.
when you're betting over 6.5. I don't care who goes out there quarterback as long as they can win.
Now, we haven't talked about the Falcons to any great extent. And again, they started off 4-0 last year, and then things went badly, and they ended up 8-8. Respectable finish in terms of the overall record, but they were a bad 8-8 football team. I just talked about the upside of Jameis Winston. Are we talking about downside of Matt Ryan, who, Matty Ice, he has not exactly been a dynamic quarterback in big spots. I think he's gone backwards. I mean,
he definitely has gone backwards.
He's kind of in that. I kind of put him in that Cutler Stafford mode now, where he's okay. You look at this one, he's going to move the team up and down the field, but
he came into the league.
He just hasn't gotten to that. And once a quarterback gets to the point where he's not getting to that next level, they have a tendency to level off, and I think the team starts to lose some confidence in them.
Well, he had, I agree, 30 sacks last year, which is not, that's not the worst.
His ratio was worse than Winston's.
Yes, 21-16. They had their injuries, of course, everybody does. They picked up Mohamed Sanu, which is a great player. They have a lot of improving to do. These teams in here in this league, other than the Panthers, are really just playing out the string. I mean, they're not going anywhere.
The one thing I'll say in Atlanta is that Dan Quinn came from Seattle, very highly regarded, and they did get off to a good start last year, and then it went bad. And Quinn, in his second year, might have more of his defense put in place, and he is an excellent defensive coach. So maybe that's where the Falcons can improve, but I just don't have a lot of faith in them right now. I think Tampa's going to finish second in this division.
I'm not going to argue with that. I mean, I think it's a toss-up between these three, who gets second. I don't know if they're going to be good enough to get a wild card.
Oh no, I don't. I think this is a one bid division.
Right, one bid division.
If you want to call it that.
Panthers, yes, all the way.
Talk. All right, hey, listen. If you want to get free plays each day on a recorded message from one of our Vegas experts, there is a toll-free number to call, and again, it's a recorded message, so it's as easy as that. 888-478-9222. That's 888-478-9222.
Also at ProLineTV.com. Click on the subscribe button and get notifications on new videos. Plus, you'll be sent a code to get 7 days of my service absolutely free. That's ProLineTV.com.
And that is going to wind things up for this edition of ProLine TV. We will do it again next week. Hope you'll be there.